Hello. Welcome to more stream. My name is Indez, and today, even though you guys gonna notice that today I am a bit sick. My morning was very rough, but I couldn't wait to come here on the stream and watch one of. Listen, we have a bomb coming in. We have literally Echo just dropped like a bomb off a video, and I didn't went and I still didn't watch it, so I could come here on the stream and watch with you guys. So apparently we had a whale that just came out and spilled all the tea. So I am so excited to actually go and watch all of these. I think that's gonna be extremely fun to do. Yo, Saturn, what's up, man? Welcome, Borson, welcome. Chat, I also tried to make some improvements last night on my mic. I hope like my mic is sounding good. My voice is probably not sounding too good because I am sick, but the rest I hope that everything it is fine. So let me go here. Why is this not working? Give me 1 second, chat. I'm trying to figure out like here a few things. Mic sounds great today. Yeah, I spent like almost 2 hours trying to fix the mic, chat, and hopefully we got it. So trying to fix here a few things. Also gonna send here on a saying that we are freaking live, chat. I also changed the lighting. I don't know if it is a better one or not. But we are always like trying new things. We also gonna wait for some people to join the stream before we watch this banger. Like listen, chat. I can't wait to go and watch these, man. I just can't. Hope you're feeling okay, man. Like in the morning I had like 38 point something fever, and then I just took some rest. I sweat fucking a lot, and then I was just like getting so tired to be on the bed, to be honest. So I took a shower, I ate some food, I got my coffee, and then I'm like, okay, let's try to go and do like, even if it's gonna be like a short stream, I'm gonna try my best. Small tip, should start something like 10 to before you hit the start button. Some people have time to get on the stream before you some people have time to get on the stream before you start for the day. No, but then it's awkward because like you have to understand, like this stream becomes a video, and then whenever it has the starting, so I don't think starting soon is it's a good thing, to be honest. And also like I take this time to speak with you guys. Prepare for the 1K special. You mean like the 10K special? Oh, okay. My chat now, it's working well. So I was trying to fix something. I don't know what was happening, but it's fixed. That's pretty much, that's good news. So how's your day, chat? I am sure today you guys are having a better day than I am. I am so certain. How are you guys doing today? Anyone? 13,000 players. There's already some players with 13,000 resonance. It's crazy, but they exist. My exam just ended tomorrow, so chilling all day. I'm glad, man. I hope it went well. I got a 5 out of 5 Blood-Soaked Jade, only using 3 legendary crests. Best day ever. Oh my fucking god, that's crazy. That's like actually winning like the lottery, you know? That's literally how it is. I think someone on my server had it on the patch that, yeah, they just went all in, man. Like these whales, they just don't chill it, you know? They just go for it, man. You know? I'm saving my crest for the mirror. The mirror is still like probably is gonna be February, I think so. Indez, people say Monk now OP in PvP. If you are a whale, I mean, Monk is already been OP for like the past 3 months. You know? Sorry, chat. It's already been super OP. It's been better than Barb Monk. Like, if you have like a whale Monk, like with the full endure sets, all that invasion, you are like fucking a killing machine, man. So I just don't understand like why people were sleeping on it. Imagine now saving Crest for a year for the next gem surge, so you can get a 5 out of 5. Hell, like that sounds depressing though. I saved for like 5 or 6 months, so I saved like as a free to play. I saved for like 5 months and I got like 100 for the Christmas. Today change for Monk and play PvP. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a bit tired of PvP. PvP is kind of sucking right now. We're gonna do something else today. I never got on a 5-star. I only got them from the markets. I mean, you gotta be lucky, right? But I feel like pulling once in a while, especially for mirror jewels, feels good, because like if you're playing this game and you're not pulling from time to time, it's kind of depressing though. You know what I'm saying? Like the joy, it's to get strong once in a while. If you're not getting strong, then it's rough. Necromancer is OP for free to play. No, it's not OP. Right now, I don't think there is any OP class for free to play, to be honest. The only one that is kind of good is Wizard, but nothing is really OP at this stage for free to play. Blizzard could create a server for PvP free to play only. I think it'll be really good. I think a battleground where your character doesn't really matter, it will be only skill, even if it's like a event, it'll be nice to try that. I think having like hardcore servers or having like free to play servers, I feel like they'll be extremely good. Or even if it was like seasonal, imagine like a seasonal 3 to 6 months server only free to play. You know, like you just go, you create a character, a seasonal character. I feel like that'll be really extremely fun. You know, because the reality is like free to play, you can go until like 4,000 rating. Maybe you can go even beyond, right? But it's just like at certain stage, like it stops being as fun. So. Chat, I'll wait just a few more minutes and then we're gonna dive in on this reaction. I really want to watch this. Man, my throat is still paining, man. God damn. So I don't think I have fever now, but now it's just the throat. Thank God the Echo is gonna do all the talking today. So, are you guys ready, chat? Listen, this is a biggie one. This is a 1 hour interview with the whale community. This guy, I didn't watch yet, but from what I saw, he came and he literally just came to spill the tea. He's spilling the tea, man. Is big resonance based on your rank? Or both? No. So from bronze to legend, you get like a match with the people around your resonance, but after you get to like high tier legend, which is like 3,500, 4,000, then you are like considered like a high tier legend player. It doesn't matter your resonance or your secondaries, you're gonna play with mega whales all the time. Pets should take like the 12 gems to win and less. Maybe they can open up in the future. Quick question, with the Inferno 6 being the highest difficulty, should you go back to prioritize combat rating until we get to... Yeah, like, Inferno 6 is like so far away, man. Like, too far away. At this stage, it doesn't really matter. For Inferno 6, you have to be level 800. And level 800, like right now, it's only in like 3 months. Okay, so it doesn't make sense. I'm 5,000 and I am versus 9 and 13,000. Yeah, I am 1,000. So that's what happens. The higher you go on the legendary rank, the higher your rating, pretty much, like the higher it's gonna be. Chat, 2 more minutes and then we start this. That's what we're gonna do. I am extremely excited. Well, community speaks the truth. An interview. I'm just glad like someone actually came out, and I just can't wait to see what is inside it. All right, chat. Let's remove this and let's start watching this, man. It's gonna be a big one. A big one. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Like if you watch this, don't tell me, because I don't want to know. I don't like to watch things that that I'm gonna react to. Otherwise, it doesn't feel genuine, you know. All right. So, chat, we waited a bit for a few people to join. So, okay, man, like, this is rough, chat. I'm sorry. Like, being sick is not a good feeling. Let me tell you that. All right. So, well, community speaks their truth. An interview by Echo Gaming to one, like we call it Mr. W. I think that's what they're calling. This whale just came out and he just spilled the whole tea. I can't wait to watch it. Let's go.
This is the video. This is the story you've all been waiting to hear. Today, I have a member of the whale community here to discuss with all of us and shed some light on the whale side of the story from all of the topics regarding account sharing, account buying, and all of those topics that really seem to upset a lot of people in today's video. Not only are we getting one whale's perspective, but the perspective of his entire group and his entire community. About a week ago, he and I started talking. I thought that his perspective was important to listen to, so I invited him onto the channel, which he thought was a good idea, so that we could all finally hear from this group of people that have yet to be heard. So, as I said, we're calling him Mr. W.
Mr. W coming up. Man, first of all, thank you for your service, and thank you for coming and give us like the inside information that we need. Let's go.
I appreciate you coming to the channel. I know you're kind of going out on a limb here today, talking amongst everyone here on the channel regarding and for the whale community, but we know why you're here. We know that everyone you want everyone to hear your perspective. So what's your motive for this? Why do you want to come to this channel, and why do you care what everyone thinks of the whale community, and why do you care that your side of things is heard?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your channel. I very much look forward to this conversation. Yeah, you know, I'm here because I think it goes without saying that, as you briefly mentioned, there's been a lot of controversy and heated discussion around some of these recent topics involving not just individual whales, but like communities and clans and servers and whatnot.
It's definitely been a very wild ride, man. Like, since we had, like, before the Apollyon old drama, we had Echo also coming, like, with those server killing videos. It's been great. Okay, it's been a great drama to follow.
For the most part, I think our community kind of just goes, and we're all fans of the YouTube community, and we watch the videos, believe it or not. We actually comment, subscribe, we do all those different things. But
That's right.
with the recent Rasha videos, unfortunately, it was just kind of sitting unwell with me because I heard a lot of things reported that were kind of reported as, and I'm using air quotes here, the unequivocal truth, but it was really misinformed and contained a lot of inaccurate details and false narratives. So, as you mentioned, there's always two sides to a story. I wanted to shed light from a whale community perspective. Now, I don't represent all whales, but
I wonder if he's gonna call out like a few YouTubers like myself.
did, reach out to a few, and I think it was very supportive of this, just basically speaking out and representing that it's not all doom and gloom. There's a whole culture and community out there of people who spend on the game. So instead of some of these other, videos where you're getting secondhand or third hand or information through informants and rumorville, I wanted to bring it to you straight from the horse's mouth, like as someone who lives and breathes in that community, who understands the culture behind it. I wanted to do it on this channel because you've always been pretty level-headed. I like your content. You're always intellectually neutral and allow people to draw their own conclusions, which is my goal as well. So instead of tackling like specific people or names, I want to look at it more like as a larger issue, right? What's the larger issue at hand? How can maybe Blizzard address this stuff? And I feel like it's a much more productive path forward than
Volume up more. Well, more the volume up.
Having an angry mob sort of cancel culture mentality, which we're kind of seeing displayed in certain pockets. So I hope that we can have a productive conversation.
Well, first, I have a few things to say about that. First of all, I appreciate you coming to my channel. I purposefully try and take a neutral stance in my videos because I know I have watchers, viewers, and honestly, friends on both sides of this story. It's my neutral position is intentional.
Is the volume not good? The video volume? You guys want more? Like it should be
and I actually get quite a bit of hate sometimes for being in that neutral position, but I think that it's the best spot for me personally to take, and I appreciate you coming to the channel to talk about all of this here. I also appreciate that you took the time not only to come up with your own thoughts, but
wait a minute. It's wait a second. So if I do this
to converse with everyone from your community, or at least a large number of
is it better now?
People. By the way, the community was all supportive of this interview happening, so I think that that's also a really great thing. So why don't we dive into one of the first topics, and this is probably what people want to know about the most: the account buying and selling. Is it real? And
Lisa, chat. We're getting into the nitty gritty. This is exactly what I came for. Like I just can't wait for them to tell that.
What are your thoughts about
exactly
it? I mean, I
happens.
know that this doesn't just happen in Diablo Immortal, but let's focus it in on Diablo Immortal right now. So, what are your thoughts on account buying and selling?
No, I think it's a fascinating topic. I'm glad we're able to cover it. The short and simple answer is yes, it absolutely exists, right? So before, people are like shocked and appalled and they start clutching their pearls, I just want to frame it just as you just said, right? Let's just take a step back and examine the reality here of the situation. Like, as much as people hate to admit it, all the stuff that we just talked about, what you just listed, sharing, trading, selling, buying, it has literally been part of like every online Blizzard game for the past decade. It's pretty ubiquitous for basically all online games in general. This is nothing new, right? So, and people out there, your listeners, your watchers, your subs, anyone who's a legit gamer, understands this. It's kind of like this sort of part and parcel of the gaming environment, right?
It's like acknowledging that drugs exist, but you know, you don't want to deal with it, but you know that they exist. So it's kind of the same thing. You just live your life knowing that something exists, and you try your best to be legit and not to get involved with it. But at the end of the day, like, you cannot also avoid this.
And I would say anyone who acts like they're holier than thou and pretends otherwise, I think they're just kidding themselves, right? So you have to understand that this happens not only at a high res level, it even happens at a low res level. Like, this is not even exclusive to a whale activity. If you remember Diablo 2, it's like what, one of the most beloved and heralded Diablo games in the franchise history, right?
True.
And yet it was fraught with this. Like, how quickly people forget, right? People used to grind up level 99 characters and sell them. People used to hire people to grind for them when they're on vacation, right? People would even sell names, like 20.
Why would you? Oh my god! Like, I just never got involved like with this thing. Why would you buy an account? That, like, I hope that it tells me why would you buy an account, because my mind cannot process that. I can understand why would you sell an account, but I just cannot understand why you would buy an account.
$20, $30. You want my name? I'll sell the rights to you, and I'll change my name, and you can have, like, it was running rampant, right? So now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here endorsing, like, okay,
I didn't say that the drugs and purchasing accounts is the same. I'm saying that you know that they exist. There is a problem that exists. You just avoid to just you just live your life knowing that fact, but you just live your own life, right? So the same way in Diablo Immortal, you know that buying and selling accounts, but if you're always worried, oh my god, there's buying and selling accounts, the same way as like you live your life like, oh my god, there's drugs like in the corner, like you just like it's not a good thing.
let's violate TOS, or let's, if it's right or wrong, or this is what we should do. What I'm trying to say is that this has sort of been a fabric of Blizzard games for a long time. So if we really want to address this, like, pure,
people have been buying accounts for decades, right? If you don't want to understand why you're not a gamer, or like, okay, so you say if I don't buy an account, I am not a gamer. All right.
really address this, then what we have
I
to
can
do
see
is
what
we
type of
can't
gamer.
take this very siloed and narrow point of view of just saying, okay, well, let's just simply ban anything and everything that moves, right? We have to come up with a more practical, real-world solution for this. Otherwise, you'd be only combating the symptoms. You're not addressing a flawed system, right? So you ban one account, but, like, how is that preventing other TOS violations to occur, right? So let's take a step back here, and I want to frame this carefully. I want to give people the context, because some of your listeners may not be aware of this. There may be Diablo Immortal might be their first Diablo game or their first Blizzard game. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of set up the real world premise here, right? So at the end of the day, Blizzard, this online video game platform, it's all a business, right? And in a business, money talks, whether you like it or not. That's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a free-to-play or a whale to understand this concept. So let's take a look at Diablo Immortal. Right? You got heavy spenders, and they're basically the main lifeblood of the game's revenue. So it's their revenue stream, to be honest, that really keeps the game afloat. Now, obviously, other stuff factor in, right? But the heavy spenders is the lifeblood of the game. So the reason why Blizzard can continue to pay developers to design and create new content, the reason why they can continue to do game balancing or bug fixes or patch updates and whatever, like, all this stuff is funded by these heavy spenders. That's sort of their mainstream. And I can tell you, like, full transparency, I don't personally.
Why do you purchase a used car? Okay, so I'll like try to explain the difference between a used car. A used car, like, you use it as a tool to just like go somewhere, right? What I'm saying, why I cannot understand why someone will buy an account. And you're saying, like, I'm not a gamer if I don't understand. Like, I'll explain exactly why do I think it's against being a gamer to buy an account. Because for me, gaming, it is an experience, and especially in RPGs, starting from level 0 and growing that account and your character that you spend hundreds of hours, if not thousands, and then you grow strong, that's like the journey. And that's where gaming and gamers should get their satisfaction. But if you get your satisfaction by buying an account and skipping through all the progress, maybe you just play a different game and you're a different kind of person. Personally, I just value a lot more like the experience, because games are entertainment. Like a car, it is a tool to just move around. It's not really entertainment unless you're racing. But who the fuck is racing like all the time, right?
For Blizzard, but I have friends and I know developers who are working there right now, who have worked there in the past. They even play like this game, not for this game in particular, but I know that play for other games. And I can assure you, I've had conversations with them. They know exactly what is going on with each account. They know exactly what you're playing, when you're playing, how you're playing it, and the time and money you've spent on that account. Furthermore, they have AI and data science that projects how much you will spend in the life cycle of you owning this account, right? So it's like, don't let their poor customer support fool you. They're not as dumb as you think they are.
Yeah.
When it comes to their bread and butter, they know what they're doing, right? So some whales, they know. Some whales will spend upwards of $100,000 to $200,000 owning their character. Like, this is not news. This is not new.
Yeah.
Again, not my position to judge. It's like, hey, you do with your money how you want to spend it. If you got it, you spend it. I'm not hating on you, right? But the fact of the matter is, the game wouldn't exist in the first place if you don't have these spenders. So, if you think about it, right? Truly think about it. If someone pays equivalent of a car or a house on an account, they are not just going to throw it away when they're done. It's like Echo. If tomorrow you bought a Lambo for $100K and you drove it around for 2 years, and you want to move on to a new car, what would you do with it? Like, you wouldn't take it to the junkyard and just scrap it. That's preposterous, right?
Okay, so this I completely understand. Okay, this side of like the seller, completely understand, man. You spend a lot of money on that account and you're like, fuck this game, I am done with it, I'm just want to recoup some money. I completely understand that, and probably if I was in the same shoes, I will do exactly the same thing. Again, like, my only thing is like, I just don't understand the other side.
It's unheard of, right? So you obviously
I don't understand, like, why would you spend like 50,000 on an account and or 10,000 on an account that is not even yours, and like, you're just literally skipping all the progression and the satisfaction that comes with it.
Try to sell it, or I don't know, like, do something with it, sell it most likely, so that you can recuperate some of that money. Even if it's pennies on the dollar,
of course,
something's better than nothing, right?
Of course, yep.
So these accounts, depending on the residence, depending on the secondaries, depending on the pets, there's a lot of different factors, right? Even down to as minute details as, are your gems PvP geared or not, right? Are they PvE gems? Are they PvP gems? Everything comes into scrutiny. These accounts can go anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000, right? And so
again, the same reason why people will buy fast food instead of making food at home. Yeah, it's like people that they just don't care about gaming in general, like they don't care about like the experience or personal achievement, and they just want to skip it to be strong. And then probably those are gonna be like the people that's gonna quit the game the fastest, because like there's literally almost zero emotional attachment to those characters.
Suffice to say, yeah, it's not $100,000, but $30,000 is a huge chunk of change to the average person. Right, so it's reasonable to conclude that these whales are selling to other whales. These are not maybe the blue whales, but they're what we call the dolphins, right? So they'll still pay for these accounts, and they're still going to spend on this account. Like, the revenue stream doesn't stop, and Blizzard knows that, right? So because anybody who's going to spend that much on an account, they're going to want to keep playing. They're going to want to keep improving. They're going to want to keep enjoying the game. And
I'm just like, what is this build that? What is this build that the Echo is playing?
Keep enjoying by you keep spending. So rest assured, right? Blizzard knows exactly which accounts are heavy spenders, which accounts are the $5 monthly passes. Like, it's very clear for them. So let me paint this picture, right? So hypothetically, let's just say I'm throwing a number out there. Totally just, hypothetically, if a quarter of the DI population that are remaining are whales, and those whale accounts bring in, I would say, 80-90% of the game's revenue, what do you think will happen if you just ban all these whale accounts? Right? I mean, first of all, it's going to be really difficult to determine legitimately, is this a purchased account? Has it traded hands? Is the original owner still playing it? There are certain ways to do that. I won't dive into that. I'm sure they could, but it's pretty risky. There's risk and exposure. If you ban someone who legitimately spent 200K, it's lawsuits pending, right? So, first of all, it's not easy.
So yesterday we watched like the Rax video that he made like 2022, right? And during the alpha of Diablo Immortal, this was a great game. No caps at all, no resonance, no pay to win, and then they just decided at the launch to just turn what it could be right now a game that probably will have millions of players, but instead, like we have like 1 million players maximum. Like you can see, I can literally just see, like if you do like for example PvP. Whenever like you are in Legend, you're always playing with the same people all the freaking time. It's just like there's like this loop of like 60 to 100 people, and you keep just keeps rotating. So, like the main issue comes from the decision that they make of turning this into a pay-to-win game. And I played like many mobile games, and they always have this cycle. Whenever you have the pay-to-win over time, the population keeps decreasing, and you just end up, like he's saying, with a very veteran, hardcore audience or players in this case that probably they are a lot of whales. But I'll tell you another thing is that every day on my YouTube channel, I see comments. I see like so many new players. Like I'm not saying like so many, but like more than I expected. There are more people actually coming to play and try Diablo Immortal than I expected. But the reality is like right now, the gap between a pay-to-win and a new player that just started the game, it is so big, it is so massive, that I feel from comments, not me saying, but comments other people, they say it just feels like a waste of time to just keep playing this game because they will never even reach there. Even if they want to become a spender, these spenders, they are just like so far ahead. They spend like hundreds of thousands on this game that they don't have even incentive to become a spender in Diablo Immortal. And to free-to-plays, they probably just play for fun. They play very casually. But overall, like after a while, they will just get bored of the game and they go play something else.
Second of all, even if you do succeed, and you cripple the game's revenue stream, like what do you think is going to happen to all the future content, right? So it's a complex problem. It's not just a black and white thing that you can just take a blowtorch to, right? So I would caution people, put your pitchforks down for a second and let's think rationally about how to solve this problem. Okay, so you might be thinking right now, all right, well, you made some good points, like this is all fascinating information, but then how do we actually address it? You can't just outright ban everything. What should you do? Well, for me, I actually think the video you made, what was it, a few days ago or last week, about the marketplace is actually quite brilliant. This has actually been talked about in the community as well. Like, we've talked about this because it actually makes a lot of sense, right? Think of the situation in California, right, where they were spending so much money and resources trying to police marijuana, and they realized, you know what, this is a...
See? Oh my god! See, you guys were... listen, the guy is literally giving the same example that I did with the drugs.
This is a never-ending, impossible
these guys understand.
And they just embraced it. And what did they do? They ended up legalizing it, regulating it.
Yeah, it's just like you understand. You just try, like here in Portugal, we try our best to just help the addicts. And I think it should be that way, like the same, because like this problem will never go away. Make it against the TOS will also not be solved. So they have to find another way to just work around.
Operating it, monitoring it, and taxing it, right? And I think, I mean, and this is not a novel concept. It's like medicinal marijuana has been used by Big Pharma for decades now. This is not a new concept. And I think in the absence of a marketplace in Blizzard, because this is like happening across all of their games for the past decade. Of course, without the marketplace, people is going to use back alley channels. They're going to use backroom Discord conversations. They're going to use these sort of like, I don't want to say shady backrooms, but just it's all off the grid. It's like a quote unquote black market, right? Because there's no other substitute for that, and people are not just going to throw away an $150,000 account. That's just stupid. So if I were Blizzard, like, again, instead of just hunting down individuals or clans or whoever, because I can tell you, this is everywhere. Anybody you've ever met, there's a chance.
I look at like Diablo Immortal, and I just cannot see why would you spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars in this game. This game is not worth that. It's definitely not worth it. It definitely has to be some external motivation, like gambling or something else. Like you just don't know maybe what to do with the money, because the game is not that great. Like for you to spend like all this money.
That they have a shared account, right?
It's a flex
so
for
it's
them,
not just
maybe.
an isolated problem. If Blizzard makes a community marketplace that is commonplace for everyone, so that it reduces the risk of scams and other shady transactions. If they actually legalize it and they regulate it, and then they even take a commission off of it, just like they take a commission off their platinum, I think it actually reduces the risk, and it just provides a safe space for this stuff, because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. And we know that Blizzard, I don't know if they're going to enforce TOS all the way, but if you're not going to do that and there's a gray area, then instead of hiding from it or stepping away from it, let's address it. Let's put a spotlight on it, and let's make it into an actual feature for the game. That's sort of where I am with this whole.
I don't think this will ever happen with the Western Blizzard. I don't think so. Because if it did, it already been happening. But I don't see this happening. It's a good idea, but that's all it was going to be.
Topic.
No, I mean, you made so many great points, and I had thoughts come in my mind and leave. At the end of the day, you're right, and this is something I've said for a long time regarding how whales support this game. From the first month that the game launched, I was always a huge advocate for Diablo Immortal and the update schedule.
No, listen, I can understand buying a Lambo, by the way. Like, that I can understand. I cannot understand like spending so much money in a dead game. That's all I can say.
Every month we have a pretty
and in the Lambo, you own the Lambo. Here, you don't even own the character. Like, it's your account, but if you read the TOS, it's not even yours. Like, if Blizzard next day he wants to shut down the game, hopefully they won't, right? But you don't own anything. Like, it's literally on the TOS.
Decent update. Most months there's something pretty good, and some months it's like, okay, it could have been better. But the update schedule inside of this game and the new features that we get on a regular basis is pretty great compared to other mobile games, and that's because of the amount of money that they're getting from it. I mean, pay to win games are going to make a lot of money, and then they're able to add that to support the development team to make new content on a regular basis. So I very much know that my $15 a month on average that I spend is not supporting this type of development, and I've been very vocal about that. I know this, and I think everyone knows that if they're free to play, they're not supporting the game financially. If they're buying the battle pass, they're minimal support, which is fine. And that's honestly, I actually think a quarter of the people playing the game still, I think that would be a huge number.
Yeah, it's like both sides, they need each other. Like, pay to win need the free to play to smack them and flex their wings. And free-to-play need the pay-to-win. Like, they both have to exist, because, like, without free-to-play, there's no reason for you to keep spending the money, because, like, there's nothing to do. And free-to-play without whales, there is also no games and no updates. So it's like, every time you have, like, these free-to-play pay-to-win games, you always have this dynamic that both need each other. So that's why I'm a bigger advocate whenever like you have games like League or Valorant that they monetize like with skins. I think like monetizing with skins, cosmetics, or convenience, it makes like the game so much more healthier. And you can see that, like you can see like what is like the most popular ARPG in the world, like right is Path of Exile, and it is for the reason.
If they were all whales, I don't even think that it's that big of a number that 25% of players are playing are whales. Maybe there's stats out there that I don't know, which could very well be. But that would actually, in my opinion, be a large number. But yes, the issue that you rose up, the people out there with the pitchforks that want to ban all the whales for buying and selling accounts, that point of then what happens to the game, because it's no longer going to be making the money from the players that are really spending. Is the game going to die? Can they pay for development? Will updates stop? Now,
man, this guy is so annoying in the chat. I'm gonna give you a timeout because like you keep saying that I don't understand business. Like, relax, I understand. Like, I think like you're too emotional attached to this, and I think you need to take a step back and just take away like the keyboard a bit.
Not saying
I know that this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, and they get like extremely emotional when it comes to it, you know. But let's enjoy. Let's listen to what he has to say, and then we go. Echo, I used to watch him all the time when he played Raid. He's a good guy. I really like it. 10k plays, average person. You constantly cry about it. Bro, I don't even cry about this. What are you talking about? You clearly don't know my content, and you clearly don't know where I stand. For me, I'm completely fine if you buy or you sell your account. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect my gameplay, and it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I want from this game? I just want the game right now to give me something to do because I'm really bored. I want them to give me something to grind. I couldn't care less if a whale is spending money on it or not. It doesn't affect my gaming experience.
And again, you know that I play the middle of the field.
Thank you, Indez, for advocating the change to help free-to-play and low spenders. You tried to warn us a video covering racks, 98 players. Those are the facts. I know. It's just like, in general, chat, all players scared, and most of the times why people stop playing a video game, it is because they just get bored. Because video games are meant to be fun and are meant to be entertainment. And right now there's so many sources of entertainment around the world like that. If this is not grabbing your attention, you just go play something else or just go watch something else.
Not saying that that breaking terms of service should just be an okay thing. When you look at it as like a law or a rule in life, you know, if you break a rule, there should be a consequence. So I definitely see, how people that are against this, why they're against it. I understand that. But I also see the consequences that would come if Blizzard did put their foot down and start doing this, which, let's be honest here, it may be a massive reason as to why they haven't been doing that. And you talked about a few friends that you have that work at Blizzard or wherever they may work. I also very much agree that they know who's doing what inside of the game. They have the tech to be able to know who's buying, who's on an original main account. I spent a lot of time working with Supercell in years past.
So these things that people sometimes say, oh, they don't know. Like, of course Blizzard knows. Like, it's a fucking $1 billion company. You guys think that they, at this stage, they don't know who is buying and selling accounts? Of course they do. It's so clear. That's why, in general, like, it's not even up to me, and it is not even my responsibility to deal with this. Even whenever it was that thing with Apollyon, I said that at the end, it is always on Blizzard that to solve this. It's not content creators or anything.
And it was very easy for them to tell if something was an account starting with one person and moving to another or not, just based off of IPs, locations, and things like that. So let's move on to the next topic, though. And by the way, I love the amount of detail that you're giving here. This is definitely going to be a longer video, but I think that you're really going to represent your the whales side of everything in a pretty clear fashion. All right, so we kind of talked about account buying and selling. I started a lot of this out, and I'll be very honest here. when I started some of these videos, they started about 2 months ago. I was very much, compared to how educated I am on everything now, I was very much uneducated on all of this stuff. And I was hearing things, it was a lot of that, hearing things from people and saying, and deciding to share that with the community or whatnot. One of those videos was actually a more recent one, and that brings up my next question. Is the $20,000 cost for a blessed rain actually true? And I made that video because I heard a lot of hearsay. Believe me, I get screwed.
Oh my god. 20k chats. 20k for a blessed rain that you can get it for free. Can you imagine? Chat, if you guys want my account, it's free to play. I got a blessed rain. If you guys want 20k chat, whoever donates 20k right now, I'll give it to you. It has a blessed rain.
Screenshots like crazy from whales, from free to play, from everyone. And I never share that stuff in the videos, and I've always said that that's not something I'm going to do. I want all people in the community to feel comfortable sharing stuff with me for my knowledge and not for me to go blow up other people, because that's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
But so I want to talk about that 20,000 blessed rain. Are there clans who are actually guaranteeing blessed rains as a paid service?
I'm sure.
No, this is one of the most comical rumors I've actually heard. I personally have never heard of this. I mean, I can't tell you what I know. Maybe it happened somewhere, but as far as I know, this is completely untrue.
But to be honest, thank God he's saying this, because it actually feels ridiculous. You paying for the blast rain, because you're already paying for the accounts. If you're also spending on like 20k to get like the blast rain, like these are a very crazy expensive hobby for you, man.
Absolutely 100% patently false. Now, here's why. Okay,
but I am sure that at least win trading with some favors, it is happening. I 100% win trading must be happening. Maybe not with money transactions, but like with favors.
And I think you mentioned this in one of your videos, right? There are, assuming, I don't know how many servers are left, but on every server, there's basically 6 clans that can rotate Blessed Rains, right? Mm-hmm. And we can talk more about this whole Blessed Rain rotation, all that stuff later as well. But that's 600 people, right? Both sides per cluster multiplied by every cluster in the East and West Coast. It's a lot of people. Never mind the ones who don't even care about being immortal, who are just I just want to stay shadow. I don't really care about the cosmetic. But think about your most recent Blessed Rain. I'm in leadership for clans, so I see this happen every single day. You barely ever get 300 people active for the entire reign. It is virtually impossible. It's like herding a bunch of cats. You're dragging people past the finish line. And in the old days, the reason why the 300 active people was important is because in order for the immortal to get the 20% badge, which is coveted in the whale community, because if you have a 20% and a 12% and a 20% badge, even just one 20% badge, that makes all the difference in the world in these
Wait, 20% badge? Okay, this is new to me. I thought the maximum was 12%. 20%, it's crazy. Who does he get the 20%, the immortal guy? This is actually new to me.
Crazy whale super lobbies and battlegrounds. So the 20% was coveted, and the only way you can get the 20% is if you continuously beat the previous reign's domination score, or dominant score. So you need, it's not just whale power, you need worker bees, and you need people who are going to be doing their dailies and grinding every single week.
So the clan leader of the immortal clans, the 3 of them, they get the 20% badge? Or just the main whale? I mean, to be honest, I'm going to tell you guys, managing a clan or being an officer in this game, it is crazy work. For some time, I actually I wanted to go and become an officer for another clan that I was. And then as soon as I went on the trial and I all they wanted me to do was like spreadsheets, like rosters. All bro, it felt like Mo. I don't have time for these, man. So what I'm trying to say with this is like I really respect and appreciate people that go out of their way to manage all these clan stuff, because it is work. It is very time consuming, and so yeah.
So as many people as you can, but it never happens. There's always people who are dropping off, and so you're trying to grab whoever you can, right? It is extremely easy for anyone, even if you're a low residence, to just join a clan, piggyback for free blessed reigns. Anyone can do it. Think about how many reigns go up every single week. The idea that someone or some clan is going around and personally going from individual to individual to collect $666 using Venmo or PayPal is just utterly ridiculous. It's like completely laughable. We can barely limp across the line with 300 members. Why would everybody pay for it, right? And not to mention the fact that it is almost logistically impossible to maintain this. What if someone leaves? What if they don't pay? What are you going to do? Like, you're not going to hunt them down, right? So I feel like this was one of those really contrived things, but I know why. I'm going to tell you why. Because this 20,000 number jumped out at me. I think what's happening is that there are two stories that are being conflated here. Now, whoever fed this information to the content creators who've been covering it, I don't know whether they got their facts completely wrong or they're just trolling them. I don't really know.
I am pretty sure that listen, if you give any information to Apollyon, it's gonna run with it, man. Bro got like the videos to do, and then I go and I watch that and I was like, fuck, this is so funny, let me go and let me watch it. So that's what happens, man.
But the $20,000 mark, that number is significant. It's true. It's true about a whole different story. And I think two things are being kind of like confused here, right? So let me shed some light on what actually happened. So it's safe to say that from a whale perspective, there's really nothing worth competing for. Because if you think about it, aside from battlegrounds, which is like where you can go and kind of flex your ability to compete and win at a high level, the only other thing that you can really kind of compete with, using air quotes, compete, is this 7-week blessed reign. It's like, well, who can get the cosmetic faster? But to be very honest with you, whales don't care about the cosmetic, right? If they want a cosmetic, they'll just pay for the phantom market. Like this whole thing is not about the cape. It's about prestige. It's about elitism, right? It's about being able to flex. And
that I understand. That makes complete sense.
So Blizzard put that carrot in the game, but as a whale with a 100K account, well, what they do is, oftentimes beef occurs between two whales or multiple whales, right? Beef occurs between two factions. There's a whole whale community that talks among themselves in a Discord. And so what this was is, to be pretty blunt, it ended up being like this one gigantic de-measuring contest between two whale factions, right? They were two alpha whales basically flexing on each other. They were talking crazy, and they were just, the only way that they could truly prove who's better is two things. Either I'm going to do a blessed reign and there's nothing you can do to stop me no matter how hard you try, fully unscripted, give me your best shot and I'm going to roll over you. And keep in mind, this was back when you had a...
This is so fucking funny, chat. This is so funny. Oh my god. It's literally two old dudes trying to measure who has the biggest PP, man. Holy moly, this is so fucking funny.
Win 8-2 on the final week, and also winning the immortal statue.
These for me is not even showing how alpha you are, is actually showing how beta you are. It's like literally.
To clinch a blessed reign. When it comes to fully unscripted PvP, that is extremely difficult. You need to have a lot of soldiers on your shoulder. The other way is, I'm going to stop you from getting your blessed reign. I don't care how many whales you have. I'm going to hit you harder. I'm going to prove that I can block you from your blessed reign. That's really, literally how these people are beefing, right? And it was entertainment. It was popcorn theater for us. Most of us were just watching and enjoying the show.
Same.
And so one of the
Same.
whales decided, you know what? Like, I have so much disposable income, I guess, because keep in mind, right?
20,000.
These people who are rich, they live in a different world than we live in, right? They'll go to a restaurant and drop $5K on a bottle of champagne. Like, $20K is not that much money for them, for some of these people, right?
Yeah.
So the light bulb goes off in one of the whales. And he says, look, I know I'm at a disadvantage because the other guy has more people than me. I'm going to go hire mercenaries. I'm going to go scour the servers and pull the best PvP killers that I can find for my cause. And what's in it for them? Don't worry. I'm going to make your time worth it. I'm going to pay you. And this has not been fully, I'll be fully transparent. It's not been fully proved. But
Guy went and he hired the SWAT team to get to the blessed rain, chat. He went to hire the Avengers, man, to try to save his blessed rain.
The rumor has it is that the highest amount that he paid for an elite PvP killer was $20,000. So if you think about this,
dude.
right, I can see where this was missed.
Hey, chat, I think I'm pretty good at PvP. If someone wants to hire my service, I'm very good at PvP, man. I've been multiple gladiator in World of Warcraft, rank 2, 3, and listen, I think I can do very well, man. So if you guys want to hire me for 20,000, you know what? I'll make it cheaper, man. It is January. I know life is tough, man, for many. 5,000, and we have a deal, man.
Misconstrued. All of a sudden, these crazy killer whales descend on your server. All hell breaks loose. There's probably a bunch of trash talking and turmoil, and it's a full-blown war, right? And afterwards, after the death and destruction and all this stuff happens, they go back to their servers. From a person who's playing casually, what does that look like? It looks like somebody came, destroyed everything, and left. Was it collusion? Was it all bought and paid for? I can see how that's being misconstrued.
I'll take the offer, chat.
But I honestly think that two stories are being conflated here, and whales have whale battles, whales have whale wars, they have whale beef.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not as deep in tinfoil hat or conspiracy theorized as people think.
Okay, so potentially something happened with $20,000, but I think what you cleared up here was the point that this is a service. This is a paid service that if you want to be part of a blessed rain, you could pay this and you could be thrown into it and you can get that cape, you can get those stats, and you could have that clout. So that's been debunked. But potentially somewhere mercenaries were hired, essentially. We could call them like pro players were hired to help out with a war somewhere. Is that clear?
They went to get Faker, man. Faker, double lift, all these League of Legends pros.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, people will pay for anything, right? People will pay just to wait in line on Black Friday if you don't have to, spend 3 hours in line. And so that was just one of those things. So yeah, the paid for the Blessed Rain service is completely something wild. I've never heard that before, ever.
Okay, you
one of the things that it always struck me as a bit weird. It is because like. Of course, whales, they fight with whales. But if you spend like so much money in your account, these guys, they are competitive. Like the whales in my clan, and probably most of my clans, they are extremely competitive. And the way they compete, it is mainly with the money and showing off, but also with some skill. So it kind of always seemed like a bit weird that they will pay for the Blast Rain to give it for free. But I could see someone that maybe is new to the game or so. I don't know, like something about like the Blessed Rain, it is about the competition. And if you don't want to compete, you're spending so much time and so much money on this account. And if you're not even using it to compete, then why were you even playing Diablo Immortal, right?
So something that a lot of players, specifically like myself, my clan, we're a very casual clan. We don't compete to be. I mean, we compete for the Shadow Wars and all that, but we don't ever we don't push to be immortals because we're more casual players. That's just how we are, and we're comfortable with that. It's like how we like to play the game. But there's a lot of players that say, because of this, because of, you know, these mercenaries being hired or just these whales taking over, it's not giving the opportunity for the more casual clans to become immortal.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of on the fence about this, right? Like, so one is, if I wanted to be an immortal, I probably shouldn't be a part of a casual clan. And the second part is it actually closing off the opportunity for other players? Like, are there players that are just all free to play and they really want to be competitive and they push to be competitive, but they just can't do it because of things that the whales are doing to the game?
Well, I mean, you know, this whole like arranged blessed reigns or what people call win trading, is it good, is it bad? I mean, first and foremost, I'll be honest with you, right? Arranged blessed reigns absolutely do exist. They're happening almost on every single server. I can tell you right now that we know who the whale clans are. We know who the whale actors are, the participants are. There's very, very few servers that are actually competitively competing for a blessed reign. That's just the God's honest truth, right? But I think everyone's so misguided in their sort of anger and hatred towards this notion that they forget how we got there in the first place. I'm a day one player, right? So in the very first few weeks and months of the game, if you recall, everything was very new. Every clan was figuring out what Immortal was, what Shadow was, how it even worked. When the first ever Immortal clan ascended, everybody quickly realized that during ROE, right, the Shadows had to win a minimum amount of games each week to overthrow the Immortal. I believe week 1 was like 5 matches, week 2 was 4, so on and so forth. At the beginning of the game, there weren't that many whales, right? So as long as one clan had few whales, they literally dominated everybody in right. It was not even close. And keep in mind, during those times, there were no limits to how long you can stay immortal. Like, the longest we've ever stayed was 10 weeks. Right.
Really? So you could stay almost forever as an immortal. That's crazy, man. 6 clans on my server that trade reigns. On Pools of Wisdom, right now there's like literally like two alliance. So even if they try to be competitive, they just gonna keep bouncing between each other. I think like the healthier that you can have is a server maybe like with 3 alliance, but again we go back like to the same problem. There aren't like enough players to have like 3-4 alliance in a server. Like actually competitive players trying to become an immortal and with that level of dedication, and there aren't. So it's already like very hard for even to gather like 2 alliance, because people are always trying to recruit new players. So unless like we were talking about another type of game that had like millions of players, which Immortal doesn't, obviously, then things could definitely be different.
So you could literally hold on to it forever until you're bored or until someone knocks you off. And it quickly became clear to a lot of clans that it was going to take extremely long time. So what did clans do? That's when the politics began. It didn't begin recently. It began like in the first Immortal reign. Shadows started to DM, whisper, message other clan leads. It's like, hey, if I send you a big resonance player, you'll have a higher chance of winning your ROE match, right? So if I seed multiple Shadow clans in ROE, the sooner we can win more matches, hit the goal, and overthrow the sitting Immortal. And if you help me do that, I'll promise that when I ascend, I'll take you guys and somebody else as my 2 ally clans, right? So, but think about this here. Like, is anyone naive enough to think that this wasn't part of the plan for Blizzard, right? I mean, to me, it's like a stroke of genius. The collusion and the politics, in my opinion, was 100% by design, because it motivated folks to spend, to get stronger, to dominate the cycles. So the creation of competition creates incentives for whales to spend, right? I mean, the psychology behind it is diabolical, but it's pretty genius. It's a smart business design. So you fast forward to today.
Nothing in these games it's done by like that was not revealed by like a team of like probably like 20 people. Like they are always like, especially in these mobile games, they always make their decisions based on data, on like psychology, on like trying to trick players to emotionally make them keep spending more and more and more. And if you're a free to play and you never spend anything, unless you have like like very good mental fortitude to just like keep not spending. But there is like this term when it comes to mobile gaming, which is the icebreaker, which is, you know, like when you see like those offers of 800% value, that was a meme for Diablo Immortal. So whenever you see like these crazy deals, all they want is for you to make the first purchase, because after the first purchase, which is for example the battle pass, then you are more inclined to go and spend more and more money. So mirror jewels, for example, in the game, it's not listen, the reason why they don't announce mirror jewels, it's like literally their intention, because they want you to spend the legendary crest, and they want you to, whenever the mirror jewels comes, and if you don't have enough crests and you feel like that FOMO, that oh my god, I'm not gonna have like this double event, then you go to the merchant and then you spend orbs and then you just spend a bit more in the game. So all of this is done by design, and it goes like so deep, and like you said, and very well, it is diabolical. And you have like literally centers, like this goes very deep.
Look at the changes that they've recently made, right? Now the statue...
And it's not only these games, social media does exactly the same thing. There's like this research center outside of like Las Vegas that they like, it's sponsored by big tech, big casinos, and they all gather the data to try to make things more and more and more addicting. It's actually insane.
Phase doesn't matter anymore. You can lose a statue and still clinch a blessed ring. Some people don't even know that, right? It's a recent change they made. Now, instead of winning 8-2 at the final week to secure a blessed ring, you only have to win 7-3 in both week 6 and 7 to secure a blessed ring. These numbers aren't by accident, right? Just look at the math. Blizzard literally made it so that the 3 immortal clans can punt 3 matches every week in ROE, consolidate all their power, and guarantee they win 7 out of 10 and secure Blessed Reign. It's easy. Those 3 clans that they're punting to, well, guess who they are, right? They're the other 3 clans in the Blessed Rotation. So they've basically handed you an endgame template that sets up 100% a reality where 6 clans dominate a server. 3 clans rotate with the other 3 clans. Now, let's just say, all right, this is polluting the competitive nature of the game. And even if you get rid of all the whales in the game, I mean, guess what would happen, right? Those 6 vacant spots, I have no doubt, will immediately be filled by the next 6 strongest clans. Yeah, they may not be whales, but the politics and the collusion is never going to end. And if you don't think those 6 clans that replace those 6 whale clans are going to open up Discord and talk amongst each other to do the exact same thing as the clans they've replaced, I mean, we're just being delusional and intellectually dishonest with ourselves, right? Yeah. This is not collusion. It's literally the state of the end game. It's based on politics. It's based on...
Do you guys think like because like the audience, it is slightly older or like very old on this game, these things are these politics, they happen more often? Because can you guys imagine like kids in Fortnite like trying to collude with each other instead of like trash talking each other?
The power consolidation. So I think that, I think we're vilifying clans a bit for doing it. I think it's more about the natural selection and the survival of the fittest, because I think ultimately it's inevitable that you're going to have some semblance of 6 clans filling that role to rotate the reign. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense, actually. And I agree with you that, well, first of all, that it's happening and that it's typically happening with spender clans because you're the stronger ones that are up there. I do agree that if all whales were banned and then the free-to-play clans came up, they would still obviously use tactics that they can to maintain that reign, especially if this unwritten blueprint.
They will do that, and they would speak with each other because they have to. It's not like only one guild. It has to be like 3 guilds. So the alliance, like the whole system, the way that the immortal system is designed, it just incentivizes like this behavior.
Print that was made by Blizzard, which is maybe a strike of genius by their business model to make more money, was put in place. I don't disagree. And actually, when the game came out, and I was in all the test versions of the game for I believe it was like a year. We didn't know about pay to win during that time. We didn't know until the very end about the immortal shadow status. And as soon as we learned about that, it was like, all right, this is going to be a political game, and that's going to get messy. And I mean,
absolutely.
Like you said, probably by design. So I just to conclude this topic, we talked about like arranged blessed reigns and all that, but what about win trading? It's very similar in the topic, but it's a term that's thrown around a lot. Is there any truth to the whole thought of win trading, and how does your community take it when you're being accused of win trading?
It doesn't feel accusatory to us because I think it's sort of the same thing, is that with or without us, it would still be happening because most players, most free-to-play players and most casual players, they want the cape because without a strong clan, it's something that they're never going to be able to do themselves, right? And believe it or not, most of the whale community just wants harmony. Like, we want to be able to play with our friends. We don't want to be warring every single day because wars become toxic.
Yeah.
Wars can become... It bleeds outside.
It feels like, especially like in North American servers, things get like extremely toxic. Or I am very lucky that like in Europe, like in the pools of wisdom, or I'm like completely unaware because I don't get like very involved into the clan stuff. But I never really saw like a lot of like nasty things happening. But maybe like in the background is some politics, nasty politics are happening.
Side of the game, right? Like, people get doxxed and stuff. Like, it's just really bad sometimes. And for the most part, I think I speak on behalf of all whales, is that they don't want to be embroidered in war every single day. And so what most whales want is fun rivalries and healthy competition. So we may have unscripted in terms of like
but how can you have fun and competition if you are win trading, It kind of removes like the whole purpose. That's what I was saying. Like, if you spend like so much money in your character to be as strong as you can be, and then you're just like win trading, then it feels like kind of weird, right? Like, because like, why you're not even competing at that stage because you know you're gonna get it if you try it or not.
Visual blades, we may have unscripted in terms of vaults and ROE and whatnot, but the idea of, hey, if you allow us to get this 7-week blessed reign, it's kind of like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That absolutely exists, but in my opinion, I don't think that's in violation of any rules, right? That's literally, I think, how the game was designed, and I think people are just understanding the politics and the tactics necessary to ensure that they maintain a strong, healthy clan, because people will flock to stronger clans that can, I don't want to say guarantee, but have a...
By the way, I want to take just a small second to appreciate this guy. First, he got a great voice, a great mic, and thank you so much for doing this.
Very strong chance of getting a blessed reign, since that's the only endgame carrot that is available right now in the game. Once people roll off, as a lot of these clans are basically one blessed reign away from getting the last cape, you're going to see a very large shift. For all the people who are complaining about this is getting stale, the win trading is always, it feels like it's repetitive, keep in mind that a lot of these whale clans are going to get their final cape. once that final cape is gotten, it's going to be a brave new world because people are no longer going to feel the need to go and reign for 7 weeks.
No, listen, you know what is going to happen? Whenever the whales are about to get the last cape, you know what is going to happen? Blizzard is going to come and say, hey, brother, we got a new cape for you. That's what is going to happen. It's the same as whenever you reach to 11, 12,000 resonance, they increase to 13. They don't want this to end because then they remove another purpose for you to just keep playing the game. So whenever most whales going to get that cloak, they're just going to say, yo, there is a new cloak for you to get. That's literally what's going to happen.
Weeks. It might actually become competitive again. It might actually change the landscape. It might actually become the Wild West. We don't actually know what's going to happen.
I don't think so.
Stay tuned and see. It's going to be pretty interesting.
That's interesting. Good point. Okay. Now, we kind of talked about this before about the hired
That I wish that was true, that what he said, because it will actually be more fun. But in reality, knowing Blizzard as it is, I am pretty sure all it's going to happen, it is going to be that they just going to introduce another cloak.
Mercenaries and migrating servers. Is there, you mentioned that was something that you recall may have happened in an instant. Is this, do you know of there being an organized system in place for this, importing whales to maliciously do this type of a thing? Or was it just...
No, I definitely appreciate that, the opportunity to clarify that. So, I mean, in the old days, right, we didn't have a transfer button. And what was happening was that, whales, after a certain period, I think Blizzard underestimated how fast people grind. And they were able to max rank their gear, max their resonance, max their stats, and just be able to get a lot of the end game stuff done very quickly. And the problem with that is that when you have whales who are essentially at the end game prematurely, from Blizzard's perspective, I think that's probably the worst place to have your heavy spender population be. Why? Yeah. Because as soon as the whale realizes there's nothing left in the game to spend money on, guess what happens next, right? They move on to the next game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you know what? I'm not even a whale, and I'm feeling this. Because after I finish my gear rank to level 30, now I am also finishing the secondary, the set items. I just feel like I am... It's not like I'm ready to move on to the next game. I'm just ready to move on to the next challenge that Blizzard is going to give me. Because whenever you lose the purpose of logging in, it is literally the worst thing that the game can do to you.
So the $1 million question was never whether or not these guys would keep spending. They're going to keep spending the money. It's their hobby. The $1 million question was whether or not they were going to spend the money on your game or someone else's game. And so prior to server transfers being a thing, the power dynamics on every server was wildly different. It varied across different servers, right? So the people, though, who were stuck on the servers were only one clan was monopolizing all the power trade. People quit because vaults would be dead. There's no challenge. There's no competition. There were no blessed rains back then to grind. Most clans intentionally stayed as shadows because Immortals was such a huge distraction and a chore. There was so much politics. And so whales started to quit because they were just in prison on a game with nothing to do.
Echo, it's still... I'm sorry, but I have to... Bro, Echo is still level 27. Fuck, man. It's really fucking casual. God damn. Still level 27, 24, 26.
Because they were just in prison on a game with nothing to do. So servers were bleeding out. Blizzard knew that this was not going to work. They put the server transfer button in there to make it legal so that people can go and meet with friends, team up together. It's kind of sparked and revitalized the competitive landscape in the game. And it kind of created parity among all the different servers, right? Because as soon as that server transfer button was announced, I believe if my recollection is correct, not too long after they announced the whole Blessed Rain thing. So they knew that powers would shift, powers would align, and it would basically even out the power distribution across all the servers. What I mean by that is, if you already know that this server has 6 whale clans, and you're looking for a blessed rain, you're not going to join that server. You're going to transfer to a server where there's only 1 whale clan, and start your own alliance, right? Because that just made more sense. So it actually helped them distribute the power and create parity. So in my opinion, I think it was totally by design. Now, to answer your question, I think I just said that to establish the fact that server transfer in and of itself is not a bad thing, right? Now, as far as abusing server transferability to try to perform like hostile takeovers and stuff, I don't actually think, outside of like 1 or 2 clans that I can think of, I will not name them, but there are clans who are toxic. There are clans who just want to, like Alfred said in The Dark Knight, some people don't want a reason, they just want to watch the world burn, right? And some
Welcome to the Joker world.
Sometimes that happens, but I would say that in general, there are very few groups of people whose sole purpose is just to go to a server, just to annihilate it. Because, like, it'd almost be like crapping where you eat, right? Because if you...
I feel like that, to be honest, maybe it also comes because, like, those whales are fucking bored, man. It's just like, you know what is gonna be fun? Imagine if we all go to this server and we just fuck up everyone. We just annihilate. Wouldn't that be fun? I feel like...
You burn down every server. What's the end goal? Are you just going to destroy the game? Like, it's like buying a car then destroying the road that you have to drive the car on. Like, I don't see the purpose of that. So I don't think everybody in the whale community thinks like that. But I think it's all about perspective. Okay, so let me give you a good example. Echo, I don't know if you've seen these movies, but I was a huge fan of the Zack Snyder Man of Steel and the Batman v Superman movies, right? I don't know if you've seen those. Have you seen those?
I have. I'm
Do you bleed?
the guy where you ask if I've seen a movie and I almost always say no. Never was a huge movie guy. Sorry.
Never. Okay, so for the people who are listening, they're going to know what I'm talking about. So at the end of the first movie, right, you see Superman the hero and you see Zod the villain, and they're just fighting it out. It's the epic climax of the movie. They're in Metropolis. They're doing their crazy CGI fight, and they're just destroying everything around them. Right? They're leveling the city. They're going crazy at each other, and finally, at the very end, Superman wins. Good guy wins. Hooray! Everybody's happy. Happy ending. Happy life. Happy story. Everything's done. What I found interesting is that in the next movie, the director chooses to retell that same epic climactic fight, but from a different vantage point. It was from the vantage point of someone on the ground of the city where the action was taking place. And instead of the whole, like, yay, Superman, you're helping us win, he was looking at death and destruction, buildings falling on top of civilians, right? An entire piece of cement dropping and killing, like, it was carnage. And I think, to me, that's a good analogy for what I'm trying to describe here. I think from a perspective of, well, where are you coming from, right? Let's say a toxic clan descends on your server and threatens to do a hostile takeover, right? Wouldn't it stand to reason then that the opposing clans on the server who care
I really liked the example that he gave.
About their community?
So pretty much we are the guys that are on the ground and getting smashed by the buildings, by the way.
Will stand against them. And if the opposing clans realize, let's say they're severely outgunned and outmanned, wouldn't it stand to reason that they would then sound the alarm and call for help? Right? So now, if these allies come, because server transfer is a thing, and there's relationships, there's networks, and friends help each other out, if these friends come to defend that server from a hostile takeover, and all war breaks out, who determines who is quote-unquote right versus who is quote-unquote wrong, right? So the history says, well, the winner gets to write the history books, the losers don't, right? But if you ask a casual member, let's say from the losing side, maybe they were part of, unknowingly even, part of the alliance where they were the ones that started the beef or started the war. if things don't go their way and you're on the losing side, right? People's feelings get hurt. Clans may disband, war bands may disband. People might want to leave the server because they don't want to participate in war anymore. From the losing side, it may feel like, geez, these guys came, they disrupted what was otherwise a peaceful life. Now everything's up in turmoil. All of my Diablo stuff has been turned upside down, right? This is not right. This is wrong. But think about it from the other side. If you're on the winning side and you are able to successfully defend your server from a toxic clan, from a hostile takeover, what's your narrative? Your narrative is, great job, everybody. We saved the server. It was a bloody mess, but we got the job done. To everybody, high fives and pats on the backs all around.
But regarding also like those hostile takeovers, it was not only whatever he's describing, but also that people were renting accounts, like that guy that is like pretty much manipulating like the whole clan's things, you know. So it goes a bit deeper. I understand what he's trying to say, but it goes a bit deeper.
So I think it's really hard to say. There really is no like right or wrong in this. It's more about, it depends on which side you're on, right? Every side, every time two big factions collide and erupt in war in Diablo Immortal, there's going to be people who are negatively affected, and there's going to be people who are positively affected. And so again, I think, okay, and I know that people will say, okay, that's fine and all. I can totally accept that, except what if it's paid accounts, right? You are using paid accounts to quote-unquote manipulate and turn the tide of a war. And for that, I would go back to my earlier response to say, well, if the paid accounts thing is the main culprit, if that is the de facto bottleneck that we just can't get around, again, I would encourage Blizzard to really consider this problem and say, well, why don't we legalize it and make it an actual thing? If it's going to happen anyways, and people are really bent out of shape by having quote-unquote illegal accounts participate in the game, even though it's basically ubiquitous everywhere by now, then let's address it head on, put a spotlight on it, and let's actually turn it into a regulated thing. That would be my response to it.
Yeah, something that I've actually realized a lot over the past 2 months, I was not aware, and I think that a lot of people that are more casual players don't realize how many people that you play with on a regular basis are actually buying and selling accounts and are actually participating in the stuff that you're.
Chat, press 1 in the chat if you bought or you sold an account. I want to know if I'm like Echo, that I have like people like here in my chat that
talking about. Again, not saying that I believe it's right or wrong, but I was just very surprised with friends that I speak to, people that I get advice from about the game that really have a deep understanding of classes and builds, how much of that's going on. Just something that surprised me. All right, so there's a couple more things I want to talk about before we close out the video. One of them is all this narrative going on. You have both sides. You're going to see both sides in the comments as well. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that have things to say. There's going to be a lot of people that no matter what you say, they're going to stick to, you are breaking terms of service, and that's against the rules of the game, and no matter what happens to the game, your accounts should be banned. That's a comment that we're going to see. I already know that. So if so many people are talking about all this stuff with the community of whales and how all these narratives are in place to take over servers, buy and sell accounts, manipulate wars, and have these mercenaries out there as well. Why?
The mercenary part was actually very fun to hear.
I'm trying to phrase my question here so that it makes a lot of sense, but how are all of these things out there and all of these feelings from that side of the community out there if everything that you're saying here and your reasoning for everything is the truth? Is it just their lack of understanding of what you guys are actually doing, or is just, I guess, your perspective on that?
I also feel like this guy looks like the good guy whale, and I don't think like also people were having problems with like good guys whales, like I think like people were having a major issue especially like with those takeovers and like the bad whales, you know.
Yeah, and I honestly think it is partially. I think it's a multitude of layers of issues, right? It's one is, yeah, people don't really understand kind of what's going on behind the scenes, and it's not their fault, right? I mean, people play the game at different levels. Some play hardcore, some play casually, some are in the whale community, some are not, and it's fine. And I think that when you don't understand fully the full picture, people just tend to, fill in the gaps with their own narratives, right? And I can understand why people dislike whale behavior. I can understand why people may not like that. And I think, we live in a society where I think cancel culture and like kind of mob mentality is very widespread. I mean, it's the internet. It can be a very happy place. It can be a very toxic place. And so I don't know why there's some people who are hell-bent on destroying the community. It could just be misunderstanding. It could be jealousy or envy, the whole like, well, if I can't have it, you can't either, that sort of deal. Or it can just be like people just don't realize, and hopefully this video and all the answers shed light on some of the other ideas and some of the other truths and facts about what's happening behind the curtains. My I guess plea for people is don't just believe everything you read or hear on the internet, right? Do your own research, talk to people, understand and think intellectually and deeper about both sides and understand the dynamics of a game. Like you said, this game was designed to be a very heavily social, economical, and political game. And it's great. It's like the best game I've ever played. It's insane how deep it is.
Okay. The best game I ever played. All right, chat. I mean, maybe he didn't play a lot of games. Okay, maybe he didn't play a lot of games. Okay, maybe that's it. Okay.
Is for a mobile game. There's nothing on the market that comes even close by a wide margin. And so...
Okay, that part is true. Okay, that part is true. Like, there's nothing really that comes close to Diablo Immortal in this. But...
sure people have...
The best game ever? Come on, man.
Legitimate gripes. I'm sure they've had bad experiences with whales, but I would say this. For every toxic whale you've ever encountered, I know 10 of them that are willing to help you. We've carried people through Gauntlet, through raids.
Yeah, this is actually true what he's saying. I never got like a bad experience, and I was actually very surprised whenever like these, the whales taking over the servers came into it. But it was not really the whales part that was taking over that caused me to be like a bit like weirded out. It was like the whole like whenever there's this guy and there's like this whole business of like renting accounts and selling accounts and I'm gonna borrow you this account and then we go to this server, we're gonna become like whenever that narrative started becoming a thing, it kind of became like a bit weird. But personally, as I'm playing the game, I never had actually a bad interaction with a whale, maybe except when they smack my ass in Battlegrounds, but that's fair game.
Carried entire clans through Blessed Reigns just to allow them to experience a side of the game that they've never had. There are a lot of good whales out there as well. And so I'm going to let your own audience draw their conclusions based on the things that they hear from both sides. And that's all I can say about that.
Yeah, I think that goes with anything. I'm not even talking about gaming. You're going to have people that have a certain profession, people that are a certain race, people that are whales inside of big spenders inside of a game or not. You're going to have good ones and you're going to have bad ones, but it's not fair to judge anyone based off of your experience with one person from a certain niche, because there's bad eggs in all baskets everywhere. So good point there as well. I appreciate that. Let's talk really quickly about mass reporting. I know this has been a massive problem. Issue. It's a tool that's used inside of the game.
It's a big issue.
I mean, my assumption is Blizzard put this tool in place so that if things are actually going wrong in the game and people are doing things that are negative to the game, that the community would come together and report that person. That doesn't mean that they would get a mob of people reporting the person, but if I happen to go see something inside of the game and someone doing something illegal in the game, I'd have the ability to go report. Mind you, I have never reported anyone ever inside of the game.
Guys, I reported some bitch ass. You know when they are like AFK. I reported some guys. I'm gonna tell you, I don't give a fuck.
It's just not something that I would probably ever do in any game. Not because I'm against doing it. It's just I'm just not that guy that's going to do it. But it's being used as a weapon.
It's just not me.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are in the same boat. But the way that the system works, because it's being monitored by AI robots or whatnot, it's not actually going across someone's desk where they're reading each report and then deciding this person should be banned. To think that a system like that's in place would be, silly. What do you think? I mean, it's clearly being used as a weapon.
Yeah.
It needs to be, in my opinion, addressed in some way by Blizzard, either by removing it from the game because it's impacting the game in a negative way. I mean, I'm talking people that are not even whales are getting banned. I'm talking about people that maybe someone has a particular gripe with that person and they have their community that just go, attack.
Yeah, this is just like stupid. Like if you get like 50 reports, like which... As a clan, you have like 100 people. It's very easy for you to get like 50 reports. And you go, it's just like, you know what? This guy, we're going to mass report him. And then he gets in trouble. Like, I feel like that system needs to be at least reviewed.
That person for reasons that may even have nothing to do with the game. So how do you feel? And have you been a part of any of, like, a victim of any of that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I saw your video about the one Reddit post, right? And even a year ago, it sounds like it was happening. It's still happening now. I absolutely agree with you. The word you used was weaponized, and I think it's 100% true. I think the intention is great. I think the execution was flawed, much like a lot of other things in this game. But, yeah, I just think that I think what they need to do is just make it so that, you can still collect all the information. You can still have people report bans and mass report, but you need to have a validation or some type of milestone checker. You can't just have an auto ban because that is just insane to me. You need to have it so that you have the reporting capabilities to flag a certain account if they've been reported on excess of whatever 50 times 60 times, right? What I would suggest, and I hope Blizzard can really listen to this and consider this, is accumulate all the data that you're doing right now. Don't change, but you need to have, at the very end of the assembly line, you need to have an actual operational person, a live human being with discernment and judgment, look at all of these and rationalize if it's a legitimate report or not. If it's legitimate, do the ban. By all means, ban the
This
account.
makes sense.
If it's illegitimate or it's not...
It's the same as other platforms, they also have this. And I'm pretty sure, to be honest, that Blizzard also has. It's just like, they just need to tweak like to not get the auto ban.
Actually doing what it's intending on doing, then you don't auto ban. Like, I think the banning or putting a strike on the account is so severe because you will literally lose your account permanently that it has to be executed by an individual. It cannot just be a 3 strikes you're out and it's an auto ban. Like, that to me is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
and for what it's worth, people can actually, it's so easy now to just spin up 100 bot accounts because they don't check that. Bots are running rampant in the game. And you can literally have the bots mass report something 24/7. Like, it's not out of the question, right? And so if you really wanted to, just like you said, never mind whales. If anybody has any kind of gripe with anyone and they're technologically savvy, they can immediately abuse the system and weaponize it to anyone they want and permanently ban someone's account. Like, if you just listen to that statement on its face value, there's absolutely something wrong with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It sounds like there's a full-time position open at Blizzard for someone to look over all these reports. The funny thing is,
absolutely,
a lot of these reports, like if you're reporting a clan for a clan name that's inappropriate, it is a very quick job to look at the clan name and say, either yes, it's inappropriate, or no, it's not.
Exactly.
The thing it has to do like with scale usually, because I remember when like World of Warcraft, they had like it was like game masters, like the GMs, they used to come and run, but over the time Blizzard just started automating more and more and more these systems, and I just think it has to do like with scale and to try to prevent like, but I am pretty sure they have someone, but still the major issue is that like whenever this report gets to that person, it's already been banned, because like after you get like 50 or 60 bans in a row in a very short period of time, your account gonna get automatically lock in, and that's what they have to adjust.
I think a lot of the mass reports are stupid things like that. It's not even like a huge investigation needs to happen. It's just a quick glance and say, oh, this is bogus. Yeah. And regarding people in the community feeling a certain way about the whale community, I mean, honestly, it's not fair. There's also whales that are out there that are going to probably have a different opinion than you and your community that you're sharing here today, because like you are not, all whales are not created equal. All groups of whales are not with the same agenda. So there's definitely differences there. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are have their opinions that are making them vocal, and I'm talking about obviously some content creators, myself included. Right? I hear stuff, I learn about stuff, I'm shared stuff, and I say, okay, I'm going to make a piece of content at it. I know personally that I'm never doing it in a malicious way, but there.
I don't think like at least I also talk for myself. Like at the end, these are all contents for content creators, and they are trying to find a way to get to the biggest amount of views. And if something seems interesting and it's gonna cause like what is happening, so that will actually lead usually most of the times for more views, more exposure. And that's just like the job of like a content creator, is knowing how to be an attention whore, pretty much, man.
There are people out there that do, and I'm not saying content creators, although maybe there are, I don't know. But just people in general, just trying to, because, and it's mostly out of, you said jealousy and all of that stuff. I think it's also out of anger too. They get upset and angry about things that are happening inside of a game that they also have a passion for in some fashion.
I feel like if you get angry, like about any of this stuff, I think you listen. Open the door and go outside. You know, there is no reason. Like, this is a video game, okay? We can discuss, we can have fun, in just like sometimes, like of course, like I'm gonna do my part and I'm gonna say, oh, this is so trash, this and this. But bro, after I never get like really mad or like too invested. Like, I am invested in my character. I enjoy the game, and I just wish I had more things to do. And that's the only thing. But regarding these, don't get like too offended, don't get like too passionate, don't get like too furious or angry. It's not worth it, man.
And that's just how they address it. You know, everyone handles them in different ways. I guess I want to ask you your closing.
I kind of wanted him to talk about, but I don't think he will, about like the multi-account, like with the bots and all these things that they have. Like, do they hire like these pilots or not? I kind of wanted it, but I guess not.
Yeah, let's get to that before I ask you another question that I have. Closing thoughts or things after having this nearly hour-long discussion. Anything that you wanted to share that maybe we breezed over, or you didn't really get in depth enough that we can do right now? At the end?
I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, I think, look, the bottom line is, either we enforce all TOS or we don't enforce it at all. Like, I don't know how to solve this problem. I don't have the answer. But what I do know is that it can't be arbitrary, like based on someone's feelings or emotions, right? We can't weaponize and witch hunt people for personal agendas. We gotta rise like...
The problem is the same as whenever we were discussing like the bots and all these things. It's the gray area. It's like nobody really knows if some things are legal or not. And I feel like Blizzards, they should just be a bit more clear.
above that pettiness and propose creative solutions for Blizzard as a community on how to emphasize fair play. Right? It can't just be all focused or centralized on one person's political warpath, right? And the game is far from perfect. People who play the game are far from perfect. But we're having this conversation here because we love the game. We want to continue seeing it succeed and thrive. And I don't think we would be here having this hour-long conversation if we didn't. And so, look, you just got to prune some branches from a tree from time to time if you want it to bear fruit. But if it doesn't turn out the way you want, you can't just take an axe to it, right? Like, you got to see the forest through the trees. It's a complex game with complex politics and complex problems. It's not black and white, and so therefore the solution.
Bro, they make it seem also like, and I understand it's complex, but you know what is not complex is whenever I look at the graph and I see that it's going down, and like all I see is the player base going down, down, and down, and I wish they will start addressing more like the core issue of the game is like at a certain stage you stop having things to pursue, and people just get bored or people get lost after like the main quest and they quit. We don't have new players because they don't really see a way to get stronger because there are no catch-up mechanic systems for you to even be slightly competitive. I don't know. I think like those are important issues that's way more important than these, because I don't think like players or the casual players that just started the game, it's like, oh my god, there's like this video that said that there's buying and selling accounts. Oh my god, I'm gonna stop playing this game. Like I don't think people think that way. People just over time they just stop playing the game because they get bored.
It won't be black and white either. It's multiple shades of gray. So I just want to encourage the community to come together. Let's be rational. Let's intellectually think about this, right? I don't want it to resort to any of this type of denigration or demonizing of particular clans or whale individuals or communities in general, because I think that's just a toxic way to solve a problem. And you actually lose credibility with your own community if you keep doing that, right? So I'm confident that people can listen to this, draw their own conclusions. The great thing about the truth is that it's something you don't have to worry about sugarcoating. In due time, it's always going to reveal itself. So I appreciate your channel. I appreciate you, man, for having me on, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you're always welcome back to, have a discussion. I think that people are going to enjoy this video because it's something that's never been heard. So
Yeah.
That's a huge part of why I wanted you to have on. You have an open invite to come on at any point in time. I also really appreciate how well put together your discussion was. You didn't
100%, man. That's why I stop in the middle of the video, because like the guy talks like really well and explain like with great examples.
curse anyone by name. You didn't call out any clans. You kept everything very general, which is exactly what I like to do on this channel, because I never want to throw anyone under the bus, whether they are right or whether they are wrong, whether they are out for good, whether they're out for bad. I try to keep everything, as I said, neutral. So I really appreciate you, and it's not even like we had to have a big discussion about that, but I really appreciate you coming on as an adult and having a nice adult conversation. Now, I did have a question. It is a little bit off topic, but now that I have a whale who spent quite a bit of money in the game on a call, and who represents the community, why Diablo Immortal and not something like a Diablo 4 or a Path of Exile 2? Now, I think I may know the answer to this, but the amount of money that you and your community spend on this game, you could spend a lot less and play one of those titles, which are arguably better games, whether you believe that or not. What's your reason for investing so much money into a mobile game?
I think at this point it's more about the community than the actual game, right? I think
Man, I hate this answer. And I hear this answer like so many times. And I think this answer, it's not about the game, it is about the community. I think it shows exactly why the player count is going down, down, and down. It's like the game should be amazing. and then the community that you play with makes it better. The same way as like World of Warcraft was, right?
The community is amazing. It's like one that I've never experienced before. I've played a lot of games, and so people spend because you want to continue supporting your community, you want to continue supporting the game, and you want to compete. I mean, all of us who do this are highly competitive, and we want to be the best of the best. And unfortunately, and you know, like we know, right? It's a business model. You know, people will pay $20 for a cup of coffee. I'll pay to invest in my game. That's sort of my mentality for it.
I get it. It makes sense. Have you played Diablo 4 or no?
I have not played Diablo 4. I've played all of the other previous ones leading up until Diablo Immortal, and once I got here, I knew I was going to play it because first mobile game for the phone, it was absolutely a no-brainer. But once I got into it and I saw how deep it was, I was like, this is one of the most brilliant games I've ever seen in my life.
No, I appreciate the.
Okay, dude. I feel like you should play some other games. Listen, this game, it has a very good community sense. That's for sure. I feel like it's one of the things that Diablo Immortal does well. It has some depth, but it's not crazy. You know, it's not crazy that as a video game.
Context, I had a feeling that you were going to talk about community. I mean, Diablo Immortal also offers things that those other two titles don't offer, and it is this whole mechanic that we've been talking about in here today.
Yeah.
But Mr. W, at the end of the day, I really do appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking.
Is investing, not playing? No, it's not investing. You don't invest in a video game, you spend. Those are the different things.
The time to talk to your community and really get a whole consensus
really
about
good.
the topics that we were going to talk about today, so that we weren't just hearing from one person, but someone that represents a much larger group. So thanks for your time for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And as I said, you have a welcome invite back.
What a great video from Echo, man. I loved it. It was really good that we have a different perception and a perspective when it comes like to this well and why. It's just like what he said and why they do what they do. It's, if you just think about it, like it's obvious, but I mean, in certain ways, I can see like why he's so invested. Like, because he's really invested. Like, whenever you have like this amount of emotional investment, like on your account, on your friends, on your community, plus you have like hundreds of thousands, it gets like extremely hard for you to leave this game. And but besides like he's saying that this was the best game he ever played, like I feel like if he wants it and give it a shot to other games, but he just won't. I don't think he will, because whenever you are like this deep in the rabbit hole, it's like it feels like you can't, you know. But really good job for Echo. If you guys still are not subscribed, probably you guys are already, but go there, drop him a like, drop him a sub. This was a great video. What a chat. I've been wanting to fucking pee for like the last 45 minutes. Give me 1 second, chat. So guys, so what did you guys what did you guys thought about it? This was it was a very cool video, man. Which other mobile game is as good as Diablo Immortal? Genuine question. No one. But there are other games, right? So it didn't say it was the best mobile game. You know? It should put the price on the right team. That was fun, man. That was really fun to watch. It's nothing surprising because I've been in the mobile gaming space for a while. I'm not part of the whale community, right? But it's not like the first whale that I hear speaking. They all come from like this side. But definitely, I really enjoy like the part that he said that he broke down, for example, the immortal system. That the immortal system kind of incentivizes you to spend money the way it is, you know. You'll get some adult diapers while streaming. Man, in the beginning there was like that guy, bro. He was so fucking mad. He was like spamming like the chat like 10 sentences per second. Because he wants to do it, got the money. So why shouldn't he do it? Because some of us are saying it. No, listen, I'm not saying that he should not do it. He can do whatever he wants, right? Like I have like listen, chat. I have zero problem if you guys want to spend on the game and if you guys want to support the game. Actually, do that. You know, like you should do that if you really want to do that. Same with people that will pay $5 on the coffee. Same people who investing in the game. But that's like, whenever you guys use the word investing, there is no investing here, okay? It's the same way as you spend and you pay $5 on the coffee, you also pay and spend on the game.
Yes. Your reputation
You know,
you, friend.
there is you know what I'm saying? Like this illusion that you are investing money in these games is just an illusion. You are spending for your own entertainment, and you are also supporting the game that you like, which is fine. But let's not be delusional, you know. Spending in the game and with the money of the company using the game or pay the developers. Yeah, of course, man.
I hope I was of assistance.
I feel, chat, that if you are a free to play and you hate whales, I think it's fucking cringe. To be honest. And if you are also a whale and you don't like free to plays, that's also cringe, you know. Because like they both need to coexist with each other. You can spend money, but dropping 100k is just absurd. I mean, maybe it's absurd for us, but it's not absurd for him, you know? Like, I don't judge anyone that spends like that amount of money. Like, if I think that there are better uses for that money, sure. I only feel like the only thing is that in any game, except like you don't own these, you know. These, you say that it's your account, but it's not really your account. This is like Blizzard account, and you sign a terms of service to use it. You know, you have a login and you access it. But if Blizzard wants, they will just ban your account, or if they want to shut down the game, they can also do that, you know. Buy mom another house or a boat. Probably like these guys, they also have that, you know. Whenever you have a lot of money, I feel that, and this comes from like, I'm just thinking, okay. I saw one time like this billionaire speaking that once you have the best food, the best restaurants, the best trips, the best, like everything the best, right? You're always trying to seek for the next thing that's gonna make you less bored. Like you start getting bored, and I feel like a lot of these comes out of like people just trying to find entertainment, and they use the money as a vehicle to just entertain themselves. Like they have fun playing the game, they have a lot of money, and why not? You know, why not? Because maybe for you 100k is a lot of money and it will make a lot of difference. But maybe for some of these guys don't, because they probably make millions, you know? It's like your money, your choice, you know? I really enjoyed this. It was really fun. Whales are great boosters when you need to reach the high tier legend. So the best part about the game, when you play 10 hours a week and you need a boost. I mean, yeah, like of course, like whales can definitely help you in a few things, you know. It was very good, like to see like the other perspective. And if it was me, I'll make like even more questions. But I think like Echo did a tremendous job, you know. Yo, Solly, what's up, man? If you're not on the wrong team. But I like in the beginning we were talking about like the buying and selling accounts. For me, I just value a lot. The thing I value the most whenever I play any game, it is the experience for playing the game, right? Like, so if I bought an account, I will be skipping all that experience. And maybe I'm like this because I'm not a materialistic person. So most of the times I always try to spend money in experience, because I feel like experience, they create memories. And materialistic things, they you know, it's cool to buy it, but you forget it like very quickly. And I feel like whenever like you're buying an account, like you're just taking like maybe a materialistic approach to the game. Should ask some questions about plat buying. Maybe it will come on another video. Games with high teenager communities base don't have this much drama for a game that 90% are base adults, 40-year-olds. No, it's exactly why this game is full of boomers, that we have these problems, because teenagers, they don't have this much money to spend on the game, you know, but they have some money to spend like on the skins and something like that, you know. So the number makes it like more popular. Even if I don't want and you guys don't want, just realize that Diablo Immortal will keep decreasing the population of the game over and over. I don't see the game changing in a way, like at least anytime soon, that will attract new players to stay in the game, if that makes sense. And I feel like right now we have like so many veterans and so many whales, you know, that they say, oh, we don't care, like we just fight each other, and the game will still be the year, we will finance by ourselves, that's it. But it's just, I feel like that's such a selfish way to see it. A healthy community, a healthy game has content creators, has a lot of players. It's fun, man. Like it is fun whenever you play a game that is played by a lot of people, right? Ask the richest dude in the world, Elon Musk, buying accounts. He's not only buying accounts, he's not even playing, you know? He's not even playing. And then he goes on the stream and he fakes that he's playing, which is hilarious. The AI is way more popular than Diablo 4. No, it's not. What are you talking about? You think that Diablo Immortal it is more popular? That like you are crazy right now. Actually, like you can literally just go on YouTube and listen. I can literally just show you a video and you understand. This is not even like the most popular. Is one of the most popular content creators, right? But look at this. 2 days. 2 days. Okay? Look at this video. With today's State of Diablo Immortal Season 7. 214,000 views. Okay? 214,000 views. A Diablo Immortal creator will never reach to that view count, even if he wants. Even if he wants right now. Like the peak right now is probably like, and of course I know that doesn't mean it's the whole player base, but it is the same for Diablo Immortal, you know. Like right now, Diablo Immortal chat, it's like, look at this. Okay, Diablo Immortal with 3,900 players the last hour. 1.8 million players the past 30 days. I'm actually like thinking like you have to also remove all the bot accounts, all the alts. So I 100% don't believe these number for 1 bit. I don't believe that these are unique players. I don't believe so. Because if this was true, chat, the views on YouTube for a creator like Echo will reflect that. So let's go here. Echo is like the most likely the biggest, right? The biggest creator. He has 45, almost 46,000 subs. And his videos like 4,000, 5,000, 1,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. And it's not really its fault, okay? It's just like the game just doesn't have enough players, you know? And that's all to it. Shroud played it when he came out, a weird flex. A lot of players. Yesterday we watched like a very interesting video from Rax, right? On the clip channel. Ooh, I put the reaction there, and he said that like on the alpha, Diablo Immortal was a very good game. There was like no caps, no weekly caps on the grinds or anything. There was like no pay to win. So I feel like if Diablo Immortal, I wish that, to be honest, that Diablo Immortal dies so we can have a new game, a new Diablo Immortal with a better business model. Like if they make Diablo Immortal with only cosmetics and battle pass, that'll be like battle pass that is not pay to win. That'll be awesome. You need more speed with Tempest? I'm not even looking at the screen right now. I don't get the whole problem with the pay to win or everybody winning over the Diablo Immortal because we're all playing it and having fun. If you play and not have fun, play something else, is my opinion. And that's exactly what people do. You know? Christian, people... that's exactly what they do. They come into this game, they think it's fun. After a while, they realize how big the gap between a new player and a veteran or a whale is, and they just stop playing the game and they go play something else. And that's why whenever you apply that mentality, and you're completely right, people actually go play something else. And that's why the player count is like this, because in the beginning of the game you had 10 million players, and because they went to play something else, now you have 1.8. And I actually don't believe this. So I feel like a better discussion is, how can we actually change the game in a way that new players that they join, they will have fun for more and over than 3, 6, or 9 months, you know? Because like, it's not like we don't have new players joining the game. We do. We actually do, shit. The problem is like they don't stay. That's the same with every game. No, it's not the same with every game. It's not. It's the same with every failing game. You're right. Every game that fails, it's like that. But I can show you other examples of games that are not like that. You think it's less than 1.8 million? 100%. I think if you remove the bot accounts and all these things, it just doesn't feel like a game that has 1.8 million players. You know? It just doesn't. It doesn't. From the community, the size, like you have to understand, like the size of the community just doesn't make, it just doesn't add up with that. I will say that right now probably has less than 1 million. I will say like around like 800, 700. I will believe that. New players need more buffs. I started an account on 1200. Spend like 6 months. I'm a BR. Yeah, okay, definitely new players. Like you spent, you say you have 3,000 resonance, right? You know that 3,000 resonance, you cannot compete with any higher whale. Like 3,000 resonance, you are and how much money you spent. It's even like for spenders. Like, if you come to Diablo Immortal and you want to spend, you are a spender. And I will tell you, you know what? If you want to compete, you will have to spend at least 100 or 200,000 euros. How many people actually have that kind of money, you know? How many people do have that money, you know? There's not a lot of people that have that money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some day one free-to-play players are 3,000 resonance. Yes, like you can be 3,000 resonance, especially if you do the alts things, you know? Like if you go... You do the alts. I'm not gonna do the alts, but... So they've been playing the game for 3 years now, almost, right? And from that time they got 3,000 resonance, right? And since they played the game went from 6,000 resonance maximum to 13,000 now. New players have enough buffs, catch-up mechanics. So the catch-up mechanics that they need, it is definitely on the resonance in the secondaries. I don't think that they should be close to be as strong as a whale. Not even close. But even for spenders, that will help them, like low spenders, you know. I think it will incentivize them to spend more money in the game, and it will actually incentivize free to play to keep playing the game. This should be a true grind game, no caps. I mean, if you want to play a true grind game, this is not it. This was what Diablo Immortal was at the start, though. It was like that. I know what you mean, but I don't get the wanting of all people that were saying we need more buffs and more free stuff, and I think it's new in... I mean, you will probably... Like, if you play the game long enough, you'll understand. That's all I can say. I feel like if you say you started in December, right? So... in 10 months, put a reminder and then let's have a chat about the game. Oh, you started a new account. Oh, okay. Then if you're an old player, you understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah, I feel like veterans and people that have been playing the game for a very long time, they just lost the man, the perspective of what it is to actually be a new fucking player, man. Joining the game and seeing that imagine like you starting to play this game and you go to the battleground for the first time, you know, like you go to the first time to the battlegrounds. Maybe now you have bots, so you feel like, and I feel like the bots are even worse nowadays, because you see all these people saying, oh my god, man, I went to Battlegrounds, I did 30-0. 30-0. Wow, dude. I'm so fucking good. And then because it's not obvious, the game doesn't make it obvious for new players that they are playing versus bots. And it should. It should. I spend $5 a month. If I want regular gems, I farm 8 events. There's your catch-up mechanics. That's not a catch-up mechanic, because if everybody does the weekly gems, including whales, plus how is that a catch-up mechanic system? If I had to implement, I'll probably put a way in the game to or to farm like gem power, or you know, like in the beginning of the game, all the gear it was giving you like 100% more X amount of scraps. I feel like in the beginning of the game it should give you a bit more gem power, for example. I'm too lazy. No, you're too rich, man. That's difference. If you're saying you're too lazy to farm weekly gems and just buy from the market, you're just too rich, man. You know. I don't think 100k is enough. There are people that spend the first weekend. No, I'm saying 100k will be enough for you to be a big whale. I think for that, it is enough. But if you're gonna be like the best of the best, no. But that will not be fair to just play since the beginning. Listen, you guys are so worried that it is unfair for you guys that play since the beginning, and you know what is gonna happen because you guys are not willing to just give that to new players. Soon you're not gonna even be playing any game. That's thing, because like just fucking look at this. You know, I listen, personally, I want to play this game for a very long time. I enjoy to play the game. And I think you guys too. Otherwise, you guys will not be watching this stream. Right? Who doesn't want to play Diablo Immortal for a bit longer, right? But if until now, like the curve is going down, down, and down, there's something like very wrong with the core game, right? Fuck chat. I think my fever is coming back, man. So today I'm with fever, and in the morning I woke up like with a 38.8, but I still wanted to come here on the stream.
My work is unfinished.
Am I the only one that who thinks it's completely stupid to spend a large amount of money in the game, no matter how rich you are? That's because you come from a perspective that you probably don't have that amount of money, so it's like very hard to relate. But I agree. I agree that there are better ways to spend the money, but at the end of the day, I don't judge people that do. As long as that's like your extra income and it's not like changing the needle on your life, who gives a fuck? If a new player wants to raid, I'll up and unlock all the difficulties as far as I can. Yeah, but okay, even if you go and you boost him, you cannot like be his babysitter, right? Like you cannot. There's only so many players you will be able to boost, right? And players don't really want to get boosted, man. They get boosted because they don't have a choice. It's like the combat rating system is so fucked up in this game that they have no other choice. The best way, in my opinion, is like if they created a system that will be nice and fair for everyone. Like, for example, Diablo 4. I'm not saying don't give the new people more stuff for free. I say don't overdo it. I agree, not overdoing it, but giving it something that it gives, like, you know how many comments to do. Like, I read more comments about this game than probably almost anyone here, right? And my audience is very free to play oriented, as you guys know. Very new player beginners. So I am very aware about like their frustrations. It's just like some of like their difficulties, you guys will be like blown away. Like as a veterans, like you know what is one of the biggest problems of the game that you guys probably don't even know is like people are so fucking clueless after they finish the main quest. They finish the main quest and then they are like, okay, and most of them they just quit. They just quit the game right there. They don't know what to do. They just feel like so lost. And most of the times I send them like these weekly and daily grind. But I shouldn't. You know, you shouldn't be needing to go to a YouTube to know the next steps. Imagine all the whales that spend an ungodly amount of money to see certain things work. Yeah, I don't know. I will be like shit. Like the good part about like being free to play in any game is that you are free to move away from it at any time, right? I still have some emotional attachment to this game. Of course, I like the game. I like the character that I built. I like the community, and I like you guys. But because I'm not so deep financially invested in the game, I don't feel like I feel the freedom that if one day I want, I just stop playing the game. And right now, my main concern about this game is that I don't have like a lot of goals in it, you know? I just like log in, I do my dailies, and I log out. And that for me, it is a problem as a player. It's a problem as a player, and makes me think that, okay, if I think this and I'm a free to play, I can only imagine like whales, you know, the amount of boredom that certain whales they must feel. Cause like that's the other thing. Whenever like you're so strong in this game, everything just becomes like very easy. No challenge at all. Spend money, upgrade the stones. You like, you're a whale. Personally, I always take these games, like this is not my first mobile game, right? I already played like so many mobile games in the past, and I always approach them in the same way. I always take the most enjoyment out of like being free to play, out of trying to min-max everything and trying to be as competitive as I can. But but what is happening, like since I started to play the game, whenever I started to play the game, the max resonance was 10,000, you know, and now it's like 13,000. So it's crazy, man. It's just like, doesn't matter. Like, I know that doesn't matter what I do, it will never matter. I'll still get one-shotted. And you can also say, oh, 10,000 or 13,000 against you, it doesn't really matter. But it kind of does. It's the difference between you get killed by a dot or getting killed by a Ota. Do you have any backup plans if the game dies? I'm working on it. The game won't die like anytime soon. Because as you guys saw, there is a lot of whales that probably they'll put like insane amount of money in the game still to make it run. And this game is still like successful in China enough to probably pay the bills. But like, if you guys saw this patch, these patches made me realize that this game is not meant for us in the Western market, you know. It just not. It's just like Chinese market, they probably are fucking thrilling that they have like so many pay to win events. Anything to give them a reason to spend money is always fun. Get this video ASMR. I'm fucked, man. I'm sick today. I was not supposed to stream, but then you know. Bro, all I did yesterday was Ibans and then later Corvus, and that's it. Yeah, see? Do you think that's fun? I don't think that's fun. Like, you guys have to understand, I am, if you put like in the broad spectrum of things, I am a new player, bro. I've been playing this game for like 9 or 10 months. I'm not like a brand new player, but I am a new player if you consider like the overall thing. And I already reached to a point that I feel like I have nothing to do. Feels like a part-time job for me. I mean, like at this stage, I feel like on that point, I think it was worst. Okay, we also gotta give the credit where credit is due, right? Blizzard with these pet expeditions, with all these things, they made the daily grind shorter than it was. That's for sure. Like now you spend like 30 minutes and you're pretty much done, you know? And the thing is gonna take you more time. It is gonna be the Terror Rift for the normal gems. And the normal gems, even if you don't have time on that day, you can always do it on the other day, you know? Thank you for coming, Solly. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Cheesy, man. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be better. When I reach to Gold 1, I stop focusing on PvP. I mean, you should stop at Legend because he's gonna give you the 62 or 66 normal gems, and then you're done. But after Gold, gets harder for sure because you don't have bots to play against.
Not even the mists will remember you.
Chat, I think I should have done like Echo, and I should have catered my audience to the whales, man. You know, because if I catered, and if a big whale would love me and love my content, I'll be fucking rich right now. They'll probably hire me as a mercenary, right? Did you ever watch Dark Microtransaction Immortal videos? I actually watched DM whenever he was doing Diablo 4, but I didn't know that he was doing Diablo Immortal before. That's what Abo did. Yeah, because Abo did that, that's exactly why I don't do that, you know?
Have you? Well, you're in the right place. Be the good this world desperately needs.
So if I went, like, how many whale contents do we have? Content creators. We had Abu. I mean, Abu still comes, you know, in and out. We have Orad. We have Killswitch. We have Maw. Apollyon. Like, pretty much every content creator at this stage is a whale, you know, or a big whale. So the only way that I could see myself, like, and I think, like, I started this YouTube channel because I wanted to show that free-to-play players, you can also, like, people think that free-to-play is like dog shit, and I mean, it's not dog shit, but it can do better than you guys think, you know? And that's what I try to show. I try to show that you guys can do better as a free-to-play. But don't illude yourself that you're gonna ever beat like someone that spends hundreds of thousands in this game, okay? You won't, but you can still have fun. And showing that you can still have fun in the game and to save time, that's like the most important thing for me. And that's why I started creating this channel. Azu? Yeah, Azu is like fucking 11,000, right? Thanks to Echo, I was selling my secondary gems for the first months I started the game. That was a very popular, very popular take back then, right? I never sold my normal gems. What the fuck? If I sold my normal gems, I would not even be here, like as close to this. What is happening in my fucking gear, man? What the hell? Yo, Vegeta, what's up, man? You can always buy that account. I got like so many people offering me that accounts. It's crazy. But I can't, chat. I just can't. I wish I could. I've been asking for that from Blizzard for like the past months, because I think it will be like extremely fun to just come here on the stream and fuck around, you know. What's the discussion? Oh, you just, bro, you have to go like back on the stream. It was like almost a 2 hours reaction. We were checking like these whale perspectives. So there was like this guy that is part of like this massive whale community, and he just came to pretty much clear up there. That'll be ridiculous if you spend 0 and can kill someone that spends. No. Depois. If a JTL business was gonna give you his account, you will take it. He was the first Diablo whale. Yeah, I know. I watch his videos through Asmongold. Oh, JTL business. It was very fun. He was a fun dude. All I did was switch class and I got bored again and got off. I mean, good for you, man. Like, I feel like if you guys that's exactly what I was saying, I think, to Chris, right? Like, if you guys got bored, just go play something else, man. I wish I had more time. Like, I've been trying for the past days to play a bit more Diablo 4, and I just cannot find the time, man, between doing this and working, and now I'm sick. JT still plays. I don't think he plays. I'm pretty sure like he sold his account, or at least he's renting or something like that. Have you all tried Terry's Land? Left it a while ago. I never did. It sounded like it looked interesting. You know, it looked interesting, but not enough to convince me, though. Okay, is this done? Man, I wish I could be a skip button or something. You spend 200 euros on Terry's Land. I mean, if you like it. The problem, like, with those kind of MMOs is like every time you put like a pay to win system, then it's gone, right? You know, it's just fucking gone. Like, I'll tell you, I feel and I hope that in the next years there will come a game, an action ARPG that will not be pay to win and which will monetize with convenience and cosmetics. And I am pretty sure it's gonna be extremely popular, because the same way as I was telling you guys, whenever I saw that every content creator for Diablo Immortal, it is a whale. So if I'm not a whale and I'm a content creator, I will, you know, be different. It doesn't mean like different is better, but I feel like sometimes offering something different can give you, you know, an advantage. Terry's Land is a World of Warcraft clone, but they are pretty similar still. All right, we did this. Nice. Chat. My voice is pretty fucking gone. I think my fever is getting higher now. We had a fucking great stream. I love it. But I'm gonna have to take some rest. Fuck me. Sorry, guys. So, I'm gonna try to take some rest. And tomorrow, hopefully, I'm gonna be better to come here. But I enjoyed it, man. Thank you so much for Echo, that he made that huge interview with a whale. That was pretty fucking good. If you guys didn't watch it, don't worry, on the Clips channel, I will post it there. So, chat. Also, I want to say that we are super close to the 1,000 subs, so we can do that. We can do that. So it's gonna be fun. So, chat, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.